A snake longer than a city bus could vanish in muddy water without making a sound. No roar, no footsteps, just a ripple, a breath, and then the swamp itself would move. But the most disturbing part is this. Titanoboa was not the only nightmare. Before the largest snake ever discovered ruled the ancient tropics, smaller extinct snakes were already testing jaws, limbs, bodies, and hunting strategies that would shape every serpent alive today. This is every extinct snake in our ranking, from the tiny Alamitophis tingamara to the giant Titanoboa cerrejonensis. And the deeper we go, the more the ground starts to feel unsafe. Stay with this, because one snake on this list was found beside a dinosaur nest, frozen in a scene that looks like the last second before an attack. And near the end, we meet a newly revealed Indian giant so huge that it may have challenged Titanoboa itself. We start small, but not harmless. Alamitophis tingamara was less than 1 meter long, around the size of a modern small constrictor. In the warm Eocene forests of Australia, it would not have looked like the ruler of anything. It was short, primitive, and easy to overlook. But on a damp forest floor, among wet leaves, insects, frogs, and small mammals, this snake was already part of an ancient experiment. Its world smelled of rotting wood and warm rain. Every movement had to be quiet. Every strike had to count. Alamitophis belonged to the Madsoids, an extinct family of snakes that survived for an incredibly long time, like a shadow version of snake evolution. Next comes Najash rionegrina, about 1 to 2 meters long, and this is where the story gets strange. Najash was not just another prehistoric snake. It still had hind limbs, not walking legs built for chasing prey, but real traces of the body plan snakes came from. Picture ancient Patagonia, dry ground, hot dust, low brush, and this serpent sliding through it with the ghost of legs still attached to its body. Najash makes evolution feel physical. Snakes did not appear as perfect, limbless hunters. They were built through loss, piece by piece, until silence became their weapon. Then comes Dinilysia patagonica, reaching roughly 2 to 3 meters, bigger, heavier, and far more intimidating. Dinilysia lived in a world where dinosaurs still shaped the land, but this snake had its own strategy. Stay low, stay hidden, let the body do the work. Its importance comes from what it reveals about modern snake development. The skull, the spine, the senses, the way the body could bend through tight spaces and strike from places other animals ignored. A 3-meter prehistoric snake in dry brush is not just an animal. It is a living question mark, crawling through the shadows. Now the ranking turns darker. Sanajeh indicus was about 3.5 meters long, and its fossil story is one of the creepiest in extinct snake history. Late Cretaceous India, hot ground, dinosaur eggs buried in sandy nests, the air thick with dust and the smell of storms. Nearby, titanosaur hatchlings were emerging into a world that was supposed to be protected by size, by family, by destiny. But Sanajeh was waiting at the edge of that beginning. Fossils show this snake preserved near eggs and hatchling remains, suggesting it hunted around dinosaur nesting sites. It did not need to swallow an adult dinosaur. It targeted the moment before giants became giants. That is the brutal secret of many predators. They do not attack strength, they attack timing. At around 5 to 6 meters, Wonambi nerocortensis brings us into ancient Australia after the dinosaurs were gone. This was not a fast, flashy predator. It was an ambush machine. Think of a dry waterhole under a pale sky. Kangaroos, wallabies, and other mammals step toward the mud, nervous but thirsty. The reeds barely move. The ground looks empty. Then a massive coil tightens from nowhere. Wonambi was a constrictor, likely killing with crushing pressure rather than venom. Its head was relatively small compared with huge modern pythons, but that made it feel even stranger. An old design surviving deep into the age of mammals, using patience instead of speed. Then the body grows again. Yurlunggur campfieldensis reached about 6 to 7 meters, another giant Australian matsoid, ancient and heavy, with a name tied to the rainbow serpent traditions of Arnhem Land. This was the kind of predator that turns a landscape into a warning. It moved through Oligocene and Miocene Australia, through warm forests and waterways, across ground alive with birds, mammals, and reptiles. Its body was long enough to disappear in sections, head in the shade, middle under leaves, tail still hidden somewhere behind you. You do not see the whole danger at once. You discover it too late. Gigantophis garstini, near 7 meters in cautious estimates, once held the title of the biggest snake ever known before Titanoboa entered the story. It lived around 40 million years ago in North Africa, when parts of the Sahara were nothing like the desert we know today. Think coastal plains, warm wetlands, slow water, and thick vegetation. Gigantophis was a massive constrictor, large enough to threaten serious prey in an ecosystem filled with early mammals. For decades, this was the monster at the top of the fossil record. A snake so large its vertebrae looked like they belonged to something that should not have been able to hide. Then comes the new challenger, Vasuki indicus. Vasuki was discovered from vertebrae in western India and estimated between 11 and 15 meters long, depending on the calculation. That range is almost unreal. At the high end, it could be longer than Titanoboa, but length alone is not the whole story. Vasuki seems to have been a thick-bodied, slow-moving ambush predator, likely living in warm Eocene swamp environments. Picture heavy, humid air, black water, lignite mud, crocodile-like shapes sliding at the surface. Then, beneath everything, a body as wide as a tree trunk begins to move. Vasuki turns the ranking into a fight between legends, the newly revealed giant from India and the monster that already owned the crown. And now, Titanoboa cerrejonensis, nearly 13 meters long, over a ton in weight. A snake so massive that a human standing beside it would not look like prey, but like a mistake. Titanoboa lived about 60 million years ago, not long after the dinosaurs vanished, in the hot tropical wetlands of what is now Colombia. The world had been reset by extinction, and into that empty power vacuum slid a predator built like a living river. Its home was steamy, green, and dangerous. Giant turtles, crocodile relatives, water thick with decay, rain hitting leaves so hard it sounded like static. And somewhere in that swamp, Titanoboa waited. This was not a monster that needed venom. It was weight, muscle, patience, and pressure. When Titanoboa moved, the water would bulge around it. When it struck, the fight may have ended before the prey fully understood what had touched it. That is what makes the largest extinct snakes so terrifying. They were not loud. They were not dramatic. They were quiet enough to let the world come close. From Alamitophis tingamara, less than 1 meter long, to Najash with its ancient hind limbs, from Sanajeh hunting near dinosaur nests, to Wonambi and Yurlunggur haunting Australia. From Gigantophis to Vasuki and Titanoboa, extinct snakes tell a story bigger than size. They show how evolution can strip an animal down until almost nothing remains except motion, muscle, and timing. Some were small shadows in leaf litter. Some were giants in swamps. But every one of them proves the same chilling truth. Long before humans feared snakes, the ancient world had already perfected them.